This is urgent, Raiders fans. One of the NFL's biggest defensive stars could be about to don the silver and black, and we're not talking about empty boats. Behind-the-scenes movements are a mile a minute. Las Vegas' name is gaining traction in league circles, and all signs point to the Raiders being ready to disrupt the market with a potential trade that could change the franchise's fortunes. Meanwhile, a preseason is approaching, bringing more clues about Pete Carroll's game plan. But it's not all good news. A serious injury to the roster has raised red flags. Get ready, Raider Nation fans, because this news is sure to make your heart race. Just when everyone thought the offseason was winding down, a shocking turn of events has rocked the NFL landscape. Micah Parsons, one of the league's most dominant defensive players, has formally requested a trade. And guess who's emerging as a top candidate to land him? Yes, the Raiders. The Las Vegas quarterback, who has already been making waves behind the scenes, may be ready to take a giant leap toward the top of the AFC. Parsons isn't just a big name. He's a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. Since entering the NFL, he's been racking up sacks, constantly sending experimental lines, and becoming a symbol of aggressiveness and explosiveness in the pass rush. But in Dallas, salary negotiations have stalled. The Cowboys have already committed much of their cap space to multi-million-dollar contracts for Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. Another massive deal, like the one Parsons deserves, seems beyond the Texans' financial reach at this point. That's where both Raiders are. According to Spotrac, Las Vegas projects the largest salary cap space in the NFL for the 2026 season, a staggering $114 million. This gives the team almost unique freedom to think big. And thinking big, in this case, means lining up Micah Parsons alongside Max Crosby, two defensive monsters capable of completely transforming any offensive game plan. Frank Schwab of Yahoo Sports put the Raiders at the top of his list of ideal destinations for Parsons, precisely because of this combination of need, administrative aggressiveness, and financial space. What's more interesting, the signs that the Raiders are ready for something big are everywhere. The franchise already tried to sign Christian Wilkins before the deal fell through. Then, they didn't hesitate to sign veteran Pete Carroll, who at 74 years old wants to win again immediately. And as if that weren't enough, they also went after Geno Smith, an experienced quarterback, and received a valuable first-round pick in running back Ashton Jeanty, making it clear that the idea is to compete now, not 3 years from now. But the story takes on even more weight when we remember 2018. That was the year the Raiders, still in Oakland, traded their star defensive end, Khalil Mack, to the Chicago Bears. In return, he received a slew of draft picks. Now the situation is reversed. The Raiders are in the position of the one who can pounce, but the price will be high. To lure Parsons from Dallas, they'll need to give up several picks, perhaps 2 first-round picks, as well as a contract that could break the current non-quarterback record currently held by Jamar Chase at $161 million over 4 years. So the big question hanging in the air is simple yet profound. Is it worth it? Is it worth mortgaging part of the franchise's future in exchange for a piece that can take this defense to historic heights? Pete Carroll certainly knows the value of a dominant defense. It was with that kind of unit that he won the Super Bowl in Seattle. And if he believes Parsons is the missing piece to repeat that feat in Las Vegas, we could be looking at a bold and historic move. And it's precisely this win-now spirit that's already shaping the team's next steps. The first preseason game is approaching, and the eyes of Raider Nation are on Pete Carroll. But what can we expect from him at the start? The answer lies in the coach's own past, and in the clues he's already left behind the scenes. With the first preseason game scheduled for this Thursday, the Raiders are already on their way to Seattle, precisely to face Pete Carroll's old man. But if fans are hoping to see the starters on the field, especially Geno Smith, they should lower their expectations. Carroll has a clear veteran track record. He protects his teammates and prefers to give playing time to the youngsters. Just remember that. In his last season with the Seahawks, Geno Smith threw only 6 passes in the entire preseason, and all of them in the second game. Based on this, it's likely Smith won't even take the field this Thursday. Carroll may have adjusted his philosophy in Las Vegas, considering he's dealing with a developing roster and new key players. But there's strong evidence that the joint workouts and the recent simulated game were enough for the key players. The second preseason game against the 49ers seems the most likely scenario for seeing Geno in action, if he plays. Still, the debut won't be without excitement. New players like Ashton Jeanty, Darian Porter, and Dante Thornton Jr. are also playing. There are also intense battles taking place at several positions, such as the interior line, where Jackson Powers-Johnson, Alex Kappa, and Jordan Meredith are vying for space, and also between linebackers and defensive tackles. So far, Carroll hasn't publicly disclosed his plans, but insiders suggest the Seahawks will follow their usual pattern and not start their starters. Carroll is expected to do the same, resting key players and leaving leaving the spotlight to those still fighting for their place. But not everyone will get this opportunity. In a dramatic moment during practice, a Raiders player suffered a serious injury after an unexpected injury, and this could change the defense's plans in the first few games. The excitement in Raider Nation took a severe blow this weekend. During a practice at Allegiant Stadium, safety Lonnie Johnson Jr. fractured his fibula after a violent clash with Max Crosby. The blow occurred when both tried to tackle running back Raheem Mostert. The scene was shocking. Johnson required immediate treatment and left the field with help, generating tension among his teammates and the coaching staff. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the 29-year-old will undergo an MRI to assess the full severity of the injury, but the initial diagnosis already indicates he will be out for a while. Johnson joined the Raiders this offseason on a one-year, $1.6 million contract, a move aimed at strengthening the roster with defensive depth. He was competing for a backup spot, but now the time will require a reevaluation of the secondary's rotation. A 6-year NFL veteran, Lonnie Johnson played for the Texans, Titans, Bills, and Panthers before arriving in Las Vegas. In 2024, he had limited participation in Carolina with just 50 defensive snaps and 6 tackles. Still, his experience was seen as a plus, especially on a young and evolving roster like the Raiders. This loss raises questions about which players will take center stage in the coming weeks. Johnson's absence could open up opportunities for young players to show their worth in the preseason, which, in Pete Carroll's scenario, becomes even more important. And now, with the roster being tested on and off the field, the front office will face difficult decisions. Invest heavily in a trade for Micah Parsons' immediate impact, adapt the game plan to preserve veterans, or seek reinforcements for the secondary? All this as the season approaches. The truth is, the Raiders are facing a watershed moment. A bold move can transform a franchise. But is it worth the price? The answer's coming, and you'll follow it all here. If you believe this could be the season of change, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and comment. Would you trade 2 first-round picks for Micah Parsons? Leave your opinion here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. But I will be back later to update you with the latest news from the Raiders.